outside the street, very, very worried. And it was the scariest moments in Chabad, period. They say that the Gerer Rebbe, Tishrei, I think it was the Gerer Rebbe, said something's wrong with the Rebbe and said to say Tillim. That's what I heard. I'm not sure if this is so accurate, but I'm not sure if it's the Gerer Rebbe or some other Rebbe said everyone should stop. You need to say Tillim to the Lubavitcher Rebbe. That was Mamar Lehavin Inyan. Yes.
Is it Happens for Shmini Atzeres or something different?
Shmini, it happened Shmini Atzeres.
The first night.
First night, yeah. It was the fourth hakafa. I think we were saying Al Hasela Hach, Al Hasela Hach, and all things like that. And stopped, turned around for the chair, sat down back like this. So never sits back like this, sat back like that on the chair. It was scary. Anyways, outside we hear, we didn't know what to expect. The Rebbe, we were told, continually hakafis, dancing with his brother-in-law, walking slowly, dancing with his brother-in-law in the middle of the heart, which is not normal, holding hand to shoulder with his brother-in-law, the Rashag, or Shmayo Garari. And it was an unbelievable sight. It was, whoever saw it, there was a minyan there. I don't know who 10 people were, but there was a minyan, maybe a little more, that were still there in the shul, near the minyan. And the Rashag was smart. And he said he's tired after about 5 seconds. So that forced the Rebbe to stop. Otherwise, the Rebbe would have gone on further. The Rebbe walked by himself up the stairs to his room, shut the door. And it was locked the door until the Rebbetzin came down and knocked on the door and said, and then the Rebbe opened it for her. I'm not going to spend time on the whole story because we're supposed to learn the Maimah today. I'm not prepared. I wasn't prepared. I was told to learn on Monday. I misunderstood maybe. So without being prepared, we'll start the Maimah. Anyways, during this time where everyone was so worried, told that the Rebbe wants that the Hakafah should continue the next night mainly. First night the Hakafahs were over, because we were all outside the street. But the next night we were told we wouldn't know what to do. I was there, and you had a circle of about 1,000 people dancing around in Achdus, screaming. And you probably heard it. I'm sure you heard all this many times. The Rebbe will be healthy. The Rebbe in Yiddish. The Rebbe wird sein gesund. I'm sorry. The Rebbe soll sein. He shall be healthy. Then we turned in that into he will be healthy, and then he is healthy. This went on a whole night, 6 hours straight. After we had the Akapis, and the Rebbe said the music, the noise is music to his ears. It's making him healthier again. The fact that we're dancing so much, and he hears the music, and the doctors asked the Rebbe, perhaps it's too much for you, noise. And the Rebbe said, this noise is music to my ears. It only improves my health. There's a lot to talk about. Doctors told the Rebbe that, if you do this and this and this, there's a 25% chance that you might have a relapse. Do you hear me, Rabbi? And the Rebbe answered, yes, I heard that you said there's a 75% chance I won't have a relapse. Things like that. And then the Rebbe, 2 days later, Mitzvah Simchas Torah surprised us with a sikha. This is someone who suffered a heart attack that no one recovers. At best, you're disabled, you're in the ICU for months. That's the best case scenario. Most people did not manage to survive more than a few hours after what the Rebbe went through. So the doctor said clearly he saw a miracle with his own eyes. Anyways, there's a Maimah that the Rebbe also said in his room. It says Bechedra. You look at it, see, Mitzvah Simchas Torah. This is the end of Simchas Torah. Bechedra, in his room, Tafshin Lameches. And the Maimah begins with, let's understand. It's not a pasuk. Usually a Maimah begins with a pasuk or a saying from the sages. There's no pasuk here, no Maimah, no saying from the sages, no Gemara, no Medrash. Just the words, Lehavin Inyan Simchas Torah, to understand what Simchas Torah is all about. That's how it starts. It is well known that diuk means the precise questioning that we have about Simchas Torah. What's the strange thing about Simchas Torah? We're rejoicing that we're so happy about the Torah being given to us, and yet we don't learn. We don't celebrate it by learning. Someone give a a sheer the full depth. We don't do that. What do? We dance with the Torah closed. Masha Ofen HaSimcha, the style of the joy of Simchas Torah. Ofen HaSimcha, the Simchas Torah, who shall loikchim Sefer Torah. We take a Sefer Torah from the Aron Kodesh, Kifi Fihi Krucha, as it is rolled, meaning as it's covered. Unechusa b'map, it's covered with a mantle. The mantle is the covering of the Sefer Torah. In other words, it's not only not understandable, it's not even readable. It's covered completely. And we dance with it. Umaraketin ima, umaraketin. Meraket means to dance. Now, we know that Torah is meant to be the greatest chachma in the world. And the Torah itself says that. The im hayos, for although in Torah it is written, Parshas Vaschanom, Kihi chachmaschem uvinaschem. It's a quote. Torah should be considered your source of wisdom and understanding. Don't underestimate the value of the intelligence that Torah provides. It's the greatest chachma in the world. So although Torah is that, we don't celebrate it by learning. Mikol makom, mem stands for Mikol makom. Nonetheless, oifen simchazu, the manner, the style of how we rejoice, lo ayidei limud v'iyun, is not through learning or delving deep. Ki'im al yidei, ki chop aleph stands for ki'im, but rather only al yidei. Ayin yud stands for al yidei, meaning vis-a-vis. Rikud, dancing, dafka only. And that is why the simcha encompasses all Jews. Everyone can dance. Not everyone can learn, but everyone can dance. The legs, you don't need to be smart to dance. So lechein hasimcha, the Simchas Torah, the joy of Simchas Torah is all-encompassing. It's Eitzel Kol Yisrael. It encompasses every single Jew. Gam, also, Eitzel Pshutim B'Yoser, even the most simple. Those that are simple in terms of their cognitive capacity. She'ein shayochim lahavana v'hasaga. V'hasaga b'havana. They're not really fit to understand at all. You say to Mizu, and moreover, that during the time we rejoice with the dancing of the hakafos, and we also know what hakafos means. Hakafos means is something that I digress for a few seconds here. What's hakafa actually mean? Go in circles, right? We dance in circles. Anyone awake? I'm not. Circles. I wasn't supposed to be here today, so please excuse. Please excuse me. I'm really not prepared. Circles. Now, it's interesting. We make a lot of circles in Judaism, especially in Simchas Torah, where we finish and then we start over again. Gracious, that's a circle. Doesn't end. So if you finish, we start over again. And hakafa also means we circle. There's a lot of circles in Judaism, besides Simchas Torah. I mentioned it many times. On on Pesach, we have the round matzahs. And then you have the mitzvah of tefillin and mezuzah and tzitzis. Tefillin, men wrap around their hands. How do you make tzitzis? You have to take one string and you wrap it around a whole bunch of other strings. And then you have a matzah, round matzah. Rosh Hashanah, a round challah. Then you have Purim, Brager, Haman, and Hanukkah, the dreidel, around and around. I guess it represents the idea of a circle, of marriage. How do you marry? How does one marry a woman? With a ring. A ring is round. We choose, although you can marry without a ring, you can marry with anything of value, but we choose the ring of the Kabbalah because the ring is circular, showing an infinity. Infinity. No beginning, no end. We connect to the endlessness and the beginninglessness of Hashem. A relationship is much deeper than what intelligence can get to you, can create. Not an intellectual experience, it's much greater than that. And that's what the dancing of Simchas Torah, we dance in a rikud of circle. Okay. Anyone know another meaning of hakafa? Besides circling and circling? Another meaning? credit. When you buy something and you don't pay for it, and the guy lets you have it, he says, on credit. So it says that Simchas Torah, Hashem says, don't worry, I know you're not ready for this holiday, you've messed up your life out the whole year. Don't worry, you'll pay me back later. Pay back later. But meanwhile, just dance. That's what Simchas Torah also represents. The idea of hakafa means that you are you're borrowing on credit. You're getting all the goodies and you don't have to pay right now.
Wait, can you explain like another way? Doesn't make any sense.
What?
Like it's like Hashem no to like we cannot like do like
No, obviously it doesn't mean you can do what you want. And it means that what you did in the past, Hashem is not going to force you to,
but like you already like did true like during Rosh Hashanah and Kippur, so like why we still need to think about like
and
the
if a
past.
person didn't do, let's say a person did not do tshuva on Rosh Hashanah and Kippur, you shouldn't have rejoiced in Simchas Torah. What about a person who did, there are a lot of people who come to shul, it says over here, the Rebbe says here in the footnote here, I'm not in the footnote, I mean, right where we're learning, the brackets. You say to me, so look at this. Moreover, not just as it encompasses all Jews, but nimshachim, after the word hakafis, nimshachim veren tzugitzogen, that's a Yiddish word. Nimshachim are drawn, tzugitzogen means they are like magnetically drawn to the joy, even though they're not really shaykh. They don't think about this whole idea, they're not even thinking about the Tishrei mode. They haven't spent, time in shul on Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and if they did, it was just in and out. Might not even fasted. Jews they're not observant yet. And yet Simchas Torah pulls them in even more than Yom Kippur. So it's not just the simple people, from people who are simple, dance with the Torah, but even not from people, not yet from. Also feel the joy of the dancing. They also get pushed in like a magnetic force. So be'eis hasimcha v'rikudim, during the joy and the dancing of hakafos, nimshachim, again, I'm reading the same line again, veren tzugitzogen, the word that's used in Yiddish as drawn, pulled, almost like a magnet. Gam ka'elu, even those people, shebishar yemei hashana, throughout the rest of the year, ein hakesher v'hayisachnu shalahem, their bond and their oneness with Torah is not to be seen, not visible. Hayisachdus, like echad, v'hayisachdus, their unity, they're being unified with Yiddishkeit, with matters of Torah, iminyoni haTorah, is not there. As we see very clearly. This idea, the Simcha of Simchas Torah, encompasses every single type of Jew. Mispate is expressed, Gam Bazeh, also in this fact, Shemarakdin in Sefer Torah, Torah should be ksav dafka, that we dance not with a chumash, or not with a Gemara, or with some other kind of oral law, but rather with the Sefer Torah. And we know that the written Torah, Torah should be ksav, is something that you don't have to understand what you're reading. When you call up a person to get an aliyah, the person you're calling up does not have to understand one word that is being read. If you're learning Gemara, you don't understand what you're learning, it's not called learning. Talmud, the oral Torah has to be understood. The written Torah has to be read. Reading it is also a mitzvah. So we dance with the part of Torah that does not require understanding. I mean, if you understand it, it's even better, but you don't have to understand it. He says Torah should be ksav dafka, the written Torah. Shafilu zeh shelo ma'ikar omar, even the one who does not know what's being said, he gets called up to the Torah. Mivarech birchas haTorah, he makes the bracha of the blessing of Torah. Kishakorei b'Torah shebiksav, when he reads Torah shebiksav. This is a base tough vav shin tough base. Just had it the second time. Stands for Torah shebiksav. Bit Torah shebiksav. Okay, so now we know the Torah is covered. Which part of the Torah do we talk about? Torah shebiksav. It encompasses all Jews, even those that are non-observant. We keep on and since. That which one makes a bracha on the Torah is not, our own wish, but rather the command of Torah. Torah says to do so. The Torah commands us to make a bracha, and we know the person who's making the bracha does not understand one word that's being read. While Torah, which is emes, truth, no faking going on here. So how could you call a person to a Torah when he doesn't understand what Torah is all about? The answer is it doesn't have to. It's deeper than that. If Torah says he should make a bracha, Torah stands for truth. It is obvious that this person is connected to the Torah, whether he understands what he's reading or not. Or even that person, who doesn't have any idea of what he's saying, is able to be mamshich, to draw forth into this world the infinite aspects of God, or Ein Sof, and not just or, which is light emerging from a source called the luminary, or as we all call him, Atmos, the essence of the light, not just the infinite light, but Atmos Mahus, the essence of God himself, the source of the light, which is the giver of the Torah, in the Torah that one learns. In other words, every Jew has the power to draw from Hashem's essence and invest that into the Torah. So a Jew has the power to cause Torah to gain, to elevate the Torah to even a higher level.
What is invested in the Torah?
Good question. Good question. Let me explain one thing. It's not so much part of the Maimon, but I'll talk about it anyways. Who's holier, the Jewish neshama or the Torah? Who's close? Who has a closer relationship to God, the neshama of a Jew or Torah that we learn? It says by both of them, Torah, Hashem is chachma, his wisdom, and he are one. The neshama is part of God. So who wins the battle? No, before they fell. Let's go to the source. The source of Torah is one with Hashem. The source of a Jew is one with Hashem. Are they exactly the same? Up there. No. So even up there, it says the Torah is God's light, radiates light. Light is not a substance. It's a reflection of God, a true reflection. Torah the word, in fact, in the word Torah, you have the word or. The Jewish people, the neshama is not a light, like a fire gives off light. It's a spark. It's a substance of fire, a substance of God, a piece of Hashem, whatever that means. Not just a reflection of Hashem, but it's part of Hashem. So when a simple Jew who doesn't even know what he's saying, but connects to the Torah on the level of just being Jewish, he reveals a deeper dimension of godliness that the Torah itself doesn't even possess. And thus, the Torah gains and rejoices. We know that it's called Simchasenu, our joy. You know why it's our joy? Our does not mean all the Jews. It means the Torah and us. We both rejoice in each other. We rejoice with the Torah that we got. Because without Torah, we're in the dark. True, we have a higher source in Torah, but we need Torah to reveal that higher source. Torah is the radar system that senses everything, the spiritual radar system. And our greatness is only appreciated through the power of Torah. Without Torah, we don't have any way of connecting to our ultimate source. So we need the Torah badly, but the Torah says, I need you, but I can't dance. I love to dance, but I don't have any legs. So your legs will be my dancing. Torah dances with the Jews' legs. And by the way, when you become a leg of the Torah, what is a leg? A leg doesn't have its own will. Whatever the brain says, leg does automatically. So we become completely subordinate to the will of Hashem. And the Torah dances and uses our legs. It uses us to express its own joy. And this is true for every single Jew. It doesn't have to be any Jew at any level has that ability. When that Jew dances or receives an aliyah, especially when the person dances with simcha, in a way when you don't even know why you're rejoicing, it's even deeper, more essential. Anything make sense? Yeah. Okay. Not ready for this. Let's go further. Atmos, you know what Atmos is? Not Ur. It's not even Ma'ar. Ma'ar means the source of light. Hashem is even beyond saying he's the source of light, because you can't define him. If you say a source of something, it means you're defining. There's where light comes from. Oh, so I guess he's like a luminary, huh? Hashem is not a luminary. If he wants, he can be that also. That's not him. You can't define Hashem with any description. Even the description of saying he's the source of the light that is infinite. That's also downgrading who he really is. You can't even say what he's not. So certainly can't say what he is. And saying he's a luminary is an insult. So we just say asmos, his essence. We don't give him any, creator. No, not creator. He's that. He is a creator, but that's not that which captures his essence. Nothing can capture his essence. It's not capturable. Made up a word. Okay. So that's one question. Is we see that the connection to Simchas Torah is not related to how smart you are. It's Torah Shabbat. The Sefer Torah is covered. We dance. We don't learn. It encompasses all Jews, even Jews that have not yet seem to not be, affiliated with their Judaism very much throughout the year. They're also drawn into the crowd. The Rebbe asked another question. Gam Yodua is also well known from Chassidus Hadiyuk. The question, Diyuk means the precise questioning. Lama Oisen Simchas Torah b'Shmini Atzeres. Why do we rejoice with the Torah on a day that Torah was not given? Shmini Atzeres is not the day that Torah was given. It was given on Shavuos. In Chutz La'aretz, in the diaspora, again, Ube Chutz La'aretz, Vav Beis Ches Vav Lamed stands for Ube Chutz La'aretz, and outside of Eretz Yisrael, beyond Sheni Shmini Atzeres, L'chayda HaYitzarech Liyos L'chag HaShavuos Ma Matan Tereseinu. L'chayda, at first glance, when should we rejoice? When should be our Simchas Torah? On Shavuos. But it's not. Why? So you got it? Two questions that needs to be clarified. Why is it that we dance with the Torah and we have a separate Torah that we don't learn? There's no deep shiurim given on Simchas Torah, at least not in Hasidic circles. And we rejoice with the separate Torah covered. Not only is it not open, it's covered with a mantle. And we dance, and everyone dances. And also why we celebrate it on Simchas Torah and not during the holiday of Shavuos. Move Habir Bazeh. So the Rebbe says the explanation to all this is brought in Chassidus. And it's based on an interesting medrash. Alpi ma di isa medrash. Based on what the medrash says. What does the medrash say? That we should have had the same pattern on Shmini Atzeres as we have on Shavuos, which means that we shouldn't celebrate Shmini Atzeres right after Sukkot, but wait 50 days. Which other holiday is called Atzeres? Hello? Shavuos. What does Atzeres actually mean? It's a lot of meanings. It means gatherings. It also means stop. 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 Ever have a holiday called stop? Stop what? Stop with your mitzvahs. What? Stop with a lulav and asteroid. Stop with a sukkah. Stop and focus on who you are. I want to have a relationship with you as you are. There from anything else besides the neshama. Hashem says, I want to have a yechidus with the Jewish people. That's Shmini Atzeres. It's one day after Sukkot. 7 days Sukkot, 1 day holiday, Shmini Atzeres. And they asked for it's 2 days, Simchas Torah too. But it should have been, this Atzeres should have also have been 50 days from Sukkot, like Shavuos is 50 days from Pesach. Why do we celebrate that 1 day holiday right after Sukkot? That's the question the Medrash asked. Re'uya, it would have been appropriate and befitting. It would have been the Atzeres, the day following the holiday of Sukkot. The day where Hashem says, stop. That it should be distant, equal amount of time that Shavuos is from Pesach, i.e. 50 days, corresponding to the same Atzeres of Shavuos, which is 50 days after Pesach. So why is it that we don't wait, but right away Hashem rushes and we have that 1 day holiday and it's called Shmini Atzeres? Why is that? Elo, Atzeres Shel Chag. The answer is the Atzeres Shel Chag. We're going from the winter, from the fall, and we're going into the winter now. When's the next holiday? A long way to go. Pesach. It's 6 months. Pesach is not that far away from Shavuos, so we could wait. The next holiday is Shavuos, but after Sukkot, we are not going to have any time until Pesach to get together. Still vague. What is this supposed to mean? Again, Atzeret Shel Chag. What's the reason why we make Shmini Atzeres right after Sukkot? We don't wait. Atzeres Shel Chag al Yidei Shehein Yotzim Min HaKayetz Lechorev, because we are leaving the summer months and going into the winter months. Less biyo, these are Aramaic words now. Less biyo imayu. There's not. Less means there is not. Biyo imayu, in those days, the ability to traveling becomes very difficult. The Yezlon, the Yeson, they should go back and forth. Winter conditions, weather conditions, simple shot. And then Medrash gives a muscle. Unlike the summer where it's easy, we can wait, we don't have to rush, we can come back. But here we have a winter coming up and we need to make sure the weather is permitted. So therefore, we don't want to have you wait 50 days and come back later. But right there, we're right here in Yerushalayim during Sukkot. Let's celebrate that Atzeres holiday right after Sukkot. And it gives a mashal. Mashal, who knows what Lamed Mem Hey Dalet stands for? This is no one going to figure one out. Smile. This is, I would eat my hat if someone tells me what this stands for. Lamed Mem, you see the word Lamed Mem Hey Dalet? You know where I'm up to? The fourth line on the second paragraph, first word, Lamed Mem Hey Dalet. Towards the bottom of the page, the third to the last line of the page. Yeah. Anyone who says this wins the jackpot, wins the lottery.
What do I win?
First get it, then we'll tell you.
I know.
Lamed Mem Hey Dalet. Okay, I'll give you a hint. Lamed Mem Lema. Lamed Mem Lema. Got it. Wow. Beautiful.
Okay, so eat your hat.
I have another one at
Nice.
home. I'll eat
What's
it.
the proper brush on the hat?
Is it black or gray?
Well, this one I'm pretty sure is black. But there you go.
I only make brush on gray hats.
Ah,
Lema Hadover Dome. Excellent. What's your name?
Sean.
Where are you from? No wonder. Lema Hadover Dome Lemelech Shahayel Leibonis Harvey. A king who had many daughters. Mehem, amongst these daughters were ones married to close by, to husbands that live close. They were living close by. Their houses are very close to their in-laws. I mean, to their the daughters are close to their father, to their parents. They're getting married. They got married to guys who live very close to their parents. Umehem, but they have also, their king also has daughters that are married to faraway places, to people that live in faraway places, far from where the king is. Nisua is the makim rachik. Yoim echad, one day, bo kulon l'Yisrael l'shalom hamelech avihim. One day they all visit their father. The ones that live far away, the ones that live close. So whether you're in Brooklyn area, whether you're in the California area, both the Gashmis and Baruchnis, they're all here for Yontif. Bo kulam l'Yisrael shleim hamelech. They're all here to ask, how are you, my dear king, our dear father? The king, their father. Lamelech avihim. Amar hamelech, the king says, Elu shenasuos l'makim karev. Those that are married and live not far away, is ba'inasan, there is plenty of time. Is means there is, less means there's not. Is, there is, ba'inasan, in their time frame, plenty of time. Lemezal, lemeza, they can leave and come back again, they're not far away. No problem. But the Elaine, those that are living far, shenasuos b'makayim, the next page is the rachok. They're living and they are married to men that live far away from their parents. There isn't any time availability, lemezal, to go, lemeze, and to come back, to go here and back and forth. You know what? You're here now. Who knows when I'll see you next? Ad di'inun kulon etzli, while you're all here. Hacha. Again, ad until di'inun, that you are kulon, all of you, etzli, by me. Hacha, over here, where the king lives. Navid kulon chad yontif. Let us all make one big yontif, benechdi iman, and let us all rejoice together. This is the mashal. Kach, so too in the Nimshal, in the analog, After Shal Pesach, when it comes to the holiday of Shavuos, which is after Pesach, we don't have to rush. We can wait. The Inu Nafkin, since they are exiting from winter to summer months, and they can easily travel, they're not far. Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu is Hashem says, come again next month or 50 days later. You have time to travel back and forth. But the Atzeres, the Shmini Atzeres that follows Sukkot, Chag refers to Sukkot. Whenever it says Chag, it doesn't say which Chag, it means Sukkot. But the Atzeres Shel Chag, the day coming after Sukkot, through they're traveling from the summer, they're going into the winter months where it's difficult to travel. Omar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they don't have the ability, the days to go back and forth. Ella, so while they're here, stay here and we'll have one more day holiday. Adi Inun Hacha, while they're here, Na'abit Kulan Chad Yantiv, we'll make one big Yantiv, extended Yantiv, an 8-day Yantiv, and Nechdei, and we'll rejoice. Chedva, Nechdei. Chedva is the source in Aramaic, but it means to rejoice. This is the reason why we celebrate Simchas Torah during Shmini Atzeres. Why is that? For that one day. What is that one day all about? That one day that everyone seems to come together to greet their king, their father. These are the daughters called as daughters of Zion. Beno Zion Yerushalayim, referring to the Jewish souls. Hainu Neshamas Yisrael are all visiting Hashem. They all come to Shul. Live Shreil Shalem HaMelech to find out how God, what's doing upstairs. L'mayla. We want to have a day of atonement. And they're asking Hashem to forgive them. They're coming L'Shalem HaMelech Aviyim. And that day is Yom Kippur. That one day that they're all coming is Yom Kippur. And after Yom Kippur, Hashem says, let us all celebrate. Let's all make one gigantic Yontiv and celebrate. And that is the celebration of Simchas Torah. The Chad Yontiv, that one Yontiv, is also a day that's only a one-day holiday. Generally speaking, Yom Kippur is the only one-day holiday we have throughout even diaspora. The only other one-day holiday that we have is Shmini Atzeres. It's a one-day holiday, even though Simchas Torah is actually a second day, but it has a different name to it. Not the second day of Shmini Atzeres. It's called Simchas Torah. So Shmini Atzeres is a one-day holiday, like Yom Kippur. And what does Hashem say to the Jewish people on Shmini Atzeres? Stop whatever you're doing. I want to have a love affair with you. I want to come into a room, a private room. I'm so tired of all these carbonas you brought corresponding to the 70 nations, 70 cows, 70 nations. It's not about, I know you're doing a very good job in trying to elevate the world outside. I want to have one day with you, just me and you. And what's Yom Kippur all about? Me'ilah. Hashem locks the doors, closes the doors, says the Rebbe, he locks us in, not locks us out. So on Yom Kippur, at the end of the day, Hashem says, enough, I want to be with you. And the angels are left out. Everyone is left out. The whole world can go fly a kite. And Hashem says, I just want to be one with you. Me'ilah means closing. So we have another time we do that in a joyous manner. On Shmini Atzeres, again, what does Hashem say? Again, a funny word. Let's roll together. Bov and the galgal. You know what a galgal is? It's a wheel. Bov and the galgal, nidiyata. Let's roll together, I and you. And what's a roll? A circle. No one's higher, no one's lower. It's not I'm the boss and you're the servant. Forget about that. We're all one. There's no beginning, there's no end. It's just us together as one. So this is the Yontiv of Shmini Atzeres, which corresponds to Yom Kippur. You're all here. You're celebrating Yom Kippur, but it still needs to be explained. It doesn't. This is all just words. The Rebbe will explain the Nekuda of the Mimer in the next paragraph, I think, where he discusses the idea of the celebration coming after Tshuva. You can't really celebrate unless you know you've been tested. On Shavuos, we weren't tested yet. So true, it's a wonderful day. It's a harvest. We're not just babies like Pesach. We're already reaping. We see full benefits. 49 days of counting. We finally received the Torah. What a wonderful experience. But you know what? How do we know if we don't fail? What happens if we fail? Kippur says you can bounce back even after failure. And when you know that nothing can stop our connection from Hashem, even the worst sins, idolatry, yet we bounce back, that's the time for rejoicing. I want to just mention before I leave, in a few minutes, I shared this in my house on Yom Tov, but I'll share it with you also. There's a very interesting Gemara that you probably heard about. Well-known Gemara where a convert comes to Hillel and Shammai and says, I'd like to convert while I'm standing on one leg. So that's a crazy kind of request. Imagine if a guy comes to a professor in law and says, I'd like to learn all about, I don't want to graduate in years. I want to know everything right now as I'm standing on one leg. You throw him out. And Shammai did that. And why did he have to use the idea of one leg? I mean, if he wants to learn it quickly, say in 5 minutes. What's this idea of saying, I'd like to learn the entire Torah while I'm standing on one leg? Just give a time frame. So I heard an interesting pirush. It's not the simple meaning at all. He wasn't saying, I'd like to learn the entire Torah while I'm standing on one leg. Because the word regel, besides meaning leg, also means a Yom Tov. Shalosh regolim, the 3 holidays, they're called regolim, because we walk a lot. We used to walk to the Beis Hamikdash during these 3 festivities, 3 holidays. Here's what the Ger was saying. The Ger was saying to Hillel and to Shammai, what's the problem?
No, there was just a squirrel. Sorry. It was on the AC. I'm so sorry.
Oh, on the AC? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Distracted.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Whoever was not distracted.
I'm listening.
I know.
I also saw Kale right there.
The squirrel also was listening. He probably had Gilgal of some kind of neshama, messed his life up, came again. Yeah. So Regel, here's what the Ger was saying. The Ger was saying to Hillel and Shammai. Shammai might not have understood this. The Ger was saying and Hillel understood what he was saying. I would like to learn the Torah, all the teachings of one holiday which I'm confused about. I understand Pesach, I understand Shavuot, I understand Sukkot. What is this Yom Shmi Atzeres all about? Stop. Whoa. And do what? What's it all about? That's what his question was. I went past the time? Oh, wow. It was 9:30. Forget about it. I thought it was 9. I'm sorry. I thought it was Okay. Whoever wants to take attendance, I don't have time.
Yeah, close the window. I don't like squirrels. Now we know. Oh yeah. If that squirrel came in here, that could be a party that you've never seen. Wait.
Sorry for not being prepared. Have a wonderful day.
Are we having you again later? Oh, no. Good morning, Rabbi.
Attendance.